Guys, what's poppin'? Okay, that's right. You guessed it. I am here to finally get to back to Urban Legends. Now, since it's been taking me a while to get through, I mean, this is a pretty thick book. I figured I'll read several more stories than I've been doing in the other parts of the Urban Legends series. So I figured I'll do like several more, get into like a few more stories than I have been. I usually been reading like 4 to 5, and then just ending it because I don't want to make like a long video, but it'll take forever for me to get through this book if I just keep doing short, just a few short couple of stories. So I figure I'll do a few more because since I can read pretty quick, I make a few mistakes when I read fast, but I usually can read pretty quick. So having said that, here we go, guys, with Urban Legends Part 4. Okay, this one is called The Loaded Dog. It just goes to show there are no lifeguards at the gene pool. From a radio program, true report of a happening in Georgia. Guy buys brand new Grand Cherokee for $30,000 and has $400 monthly payments. He and a friend go duck hunting, and of course, all the lakes are frozen. These two anatomic brains go to the lake with the guns, the dog, the beer, and of course the new vehicle. They drive out onto the lake ice and get ready. Now, they went to make some kind of a natural landing area for the ducks, something for the decoys to float on. In order to make a hole large enough to look like something a wandering duck would fly down and land on, it is going to take a little more effort than an ice hole drill. Out of the back of the new Grand Cherokee comes a stick of dynamite with a short 40-second fuse. Now, these two rocket scientists do take into consideration that if they place the stick of dynamite on the ice at a location far from where they are standing and the new Grand Cherokee, they take the risk of slipping on the ice when they run from the burning fuse and possibly go up in smoke with the resulting blast. So they decide to light this 40-second fuse and throw the dynamite. Remember a couple of paragraphs back when I mentioned the vehicle, the guns, the beer, the guns, and the dog. Remember a couple, I said that, okay, yes, the dog. A highly trained black lab used for retrieving especially things thrown by the owner. Yeah, you think you have an idea where this is going. You guessed it, the dog takes off at a high rate of doggy speed on the ice and captures the stick of dynamite with the burning 40-second fuse about the time it hits the ice. The two men yell, scream, wave arms, and wonder what to do now. The dog, cheered on, keeps coming. One of the guys grabs the shotgun and shoots the dog. Yep, the shotgun is loaded with number 8 duck shot, hardly big enough to stop a black lab. Dog stops for a moment, slightly confused, but continues on. Another shot, and this time the dog, still standing, becomes really confused, and of course scared, thinking these two Nobel Prize winners have gone insane. He takes off to find cover with the now really short fuse burning on the stick of dynamite under the brand new Cherokee. Boom! Dog and Cherokee are blown to bits. Yep, that sounds horrible. And sink to the bottom of the lake in a very large hole, leaving the two candidates for co-leaders of the known universe standing there with this "I can't believe this happened" look on their faces. The insurance company says that sinking a vehicle in a lake by illegal use of explosives is not covered. He had yet to make the first of those $400 a month payments. Hey, you two guys, I am reading my Urban Legends series. I'm getting back to, this is part 4 of part 3 that I did a while back, a couple weeks ago. Okay, this story is called The Plant's Revenge. There was no way roommates David Runman and James Joseph Scutkochi could have known on the winter morning in 1982 that their desert cactus plugging expedition would one day be turned into an anthem by an Austin, Texas rock band called the Lounge Lizards. They also could not have known that their outing would eventually be documented by the world for the world by urban legend sleuth Jan Harold Brunman. And they certainly had no way of foretelling that Brunman would meet his enigmatic ignominious end that day, literally at the hands of a giant saguaro. I have no idea what that is, so I hope one of y'all know what that is. Probably like a lizard or something. Had they known all that, they might have gone anyway. Such is the worldview of cactus pluggers. Hello, Moreno. Dumb shits who make sport out of blasting desert plants with firearms. The fact of the case, according to Brunberg, who copped an account for his book, Cursed Broiled Again, the hottest urban legends going from countries in the Phoenix newspapers, are simple. Grunman shoots saguaro limb. Saguaro limb falls and hits Grunman. Grunman dies. The cactus was approximately 25 feet tall and likely well over 100 years old. Grunman, in his mid-20s at the time, was described by the Lounge Lizards in their song Saguaro as a noxious little twerp. An added wrinkle in this tale was some early confusion over Grunman's last words. The first news reports of the happy accident claimed that Grunman was yelling "timber" at the time of impact and had actually only managed to spout the first syllable, Tim, when the fatal blow came. Follow-up stories in the papers later speculated that the deceased more likely used his last breath to call out to his roommate, Jim. Alrighty, that one sounded weird. Talking about shooting cactus. Okay, that was kind of messed up, but it was also kind of funny, sorry. Alright, this next one is called The Dead Cat in the Package. In December of 1992, a friend of mine told me about two friends of a friend of hers. They worked at a Mall of America in Bloomington, a suburb of Minneapolis, Minnesota. They got off work at about 7 p.m. and they went to their car to share a ride home. When they started the car, it didn't seem to be running well, so they let it idle for a while, thinking it was just the cold weather. Then they noticed a bad smell coming from the engine. So they shut off the car and investigated. When they opened the hood, they discovered that a cat had climbed into the engine somehow while they were at work. The cat had gotten caught in the belt or something, and it was dead and mangled. Ew. The women found some sticks and poked the pieces of the dead cat loose. They didn't want to just leave the cat there on the ground, so they put it in a shopping bag and started walking back towards the mall to throw it in the garbage. But before they got there, a woman ran by and swiped the bag, presumably thinking it was full of Christmas gifts or something. The two women thought that was pretty funny. They decided that they should report the incident to mall security, but because the next time the thief might steal something of value. As they were walking to the security office, they noticed a big hullabaloo. They stopped to see what was going on, and they saw that a familiar someone, the dead cat thief, had fainted, and she was being loaded into an ambulance. Then a bystander saw the shopping bag and told one of the paramedics that it belonged to the sick woman. So a paramedic put the bag on the woman's chest and secured it with a bungee cord. Oh, God. Of course, nobody had any firm details about what happened next, but my friend thought the thief probably had a pretty rough time of it when she woke up and the dead cat was still there. I know I have heard or read this story before, but when I pressed my friend for details, she kind of bit my head off. She was upset that I didn't believe the story, so I just dropped it. But It's been driving me nuts ever since. Was this a Twilight Zone episode or something? Or was it just one of those stories you collect? Okay, so that was definitely weird. Okay, this one is called The Runaway Grandmother. One of the worst or best horror travel stories I've heard is of the American family traveling by Volkswagen through Spain. The two children were in the back seat of the car with grandmother when she died. The parents decided to phone the American embassy for advice, but first had to find a phone. The children became hysterical with grandmother still in the back seat, and there was no room in the front of the Volkswagen for all four of them. So the father wrapped the grandmother in a blanket and put her in the luggage rack on top of the car. In emergencies, you do what you have to do. They came to a filling station and all piled out of the car to make the phone call, leaving the keys in the car. Wait a minute, this sounds like, what was that movie? There was some movie where the grandmother died and they put her in a rocking chair or something. They tied her to a rocking chair. I think it was, with, Chevy Chase. The, those funny movies that he makes. The hell was the name of it? But yeah, the mother dies or something. The grandmother dies on the road trip, and they end up putting her in a chair, like with a carpet or a rug around her or something, and they tie her to the top of the hood of the car because none of them wanted to sit in the car with her like a dead grandmother. But okay, anyway, so they turned to find the car had been stolen. Wait, because I said the key. Yeah, they came to a filling station and all piled out of the car to make the phone call, leaving the keys in the car. They returned to find the car had been stolen, along with grandmother and their luggage and passports. They never did find any of their possessions. Wow, I wonder what happened with the grandmother then. They just kept her dead body or what? Okay, this next one is called the $50 Porsche. The men in the insurance office propped their feet on the desk, puffed cigars, and pursued the classified ads. It was a Monday morning ritual. They were all talking about the iStopper, Mercedes 280 SL for sale. Sunroof, loaded, burgundy, leather interior, stereo, $75. Their mouths watered, but their eyes moved on down to the column. It had to be a misprint. No one would sell that car for $75. Finally, the talk turned to other things, and the car gradually was forgotten. One salesman didn't forget it though. He kept looking at the ad, and finally he dialed the phone number listed. A woman answered. "I'm calling to inquire about the Mercedes," he said. "Is it still for sale?" "Oh yes," she said. "It's still for sale, and the price is $75. That's right, 75. "Well, I'd like to come out and look at it." He drove out to the address given him. It was a large, split-level brick home with a swimming pool and tennis courts, and manicured shrubbery and lawns, bespoke, and the presence of a gardener. An attractive blonde woman answered the door. "I've come to see the Mercedes," he said. She waved her hand and at the double car garage. "It's out there. Here's the keys. Just lift the door and crank it up." The sight of that car took his breath away. He could see his reflection in the hood. Its wheels covers gleamed. The interior was all plushy, shiny, tan leather and dark wooden paneling. He tried the sunroof, he tried the stereo, everything worked. The engine ran like a dream. The car was perfect. He went back to the door. The price is still $75? He asked one more time. "Yes, it is," the blonde said firmly. His hand was shaking as he wrote the check. But he couldn't leave without asking. "Lady, I just want to know why you're selling this car for $75. Nobody would sell that car for that." She hesitated just a moment, but then she smiled just a little. "I'll tell you," she said. "About 5 years ago, I met and married the perfect man. He was tall, well-built, and good-looking. He was an engineer. He brought home about $200,000 a year, and that's how we could afford this house and all you see here. Our marriage went well. Everything seemed fine. There was just one flaw. One of our neighbors was a beautiful, sexy woman, and last week the two of them ran off together. She paused and smiled again. He called me this week. Now don't hang up, honey. Just don't hang up, he said. You've been a good sport, and I know you're going to be a good sport about this too. I know I did you wrong. You deserve better, and I'm sorry. But I just want you to do me a favor. Sell the Mercedes and send me half the money. Oh, that is messed up. Well, that explains why she sold the shit for $75. He's not getting much money out of that shit. She's like, fuck you. Like, you're not getting shit. That's a good payback right there. I like that one. Okay, this one is dial Revenge. At the sound of the beep, a Dallas wife did this 2 weeks ago, but it shows Houston kind of genius. Learning her husband was on a 3-week stay in the Caribbean with another woman instead of in London on business, as he had said, the missus quietly packed up her things, retrieved the number from directory assistance, dialed it, and then left the line open for the mister to find when his trip was over. The number, that of the Hong Kong continual time and weather recording. Oh, wow. That's going to be a huge ass bill. Oh my god. So is this the same thing? Yeah, one woman was visiting her out-of-town boyfriend only to be abandoned as he supposedly went to visit his mother in the hospital. When it was revealed that the mother was in perfect health and Mr. Two-Timing Rat actually was on a romantic rendezvous, this woman's solution was to call time and temperature in Tokyo, then leave the phone off the hook. Wow, so that's 2 different women that did that. 2 different men. Leaving them with a huge ass phone bill to come back to. That's another definitely good revenge to get back at somebody. Okay, this one is called Revenge of the Rich. Oh, our for what? It's worth department. Here's from Hershey, Pennsylvania, where the woman in the Mercedes had been waiting patiently for a parking place to open up. The shopping mall was crowded. The woman in the Mercedes zigzagged between rows. Then up ahead, she saw a man with a load of packages head for his car. She drove up and parked behind him and waited while he opened his trunk and loaded it with packages. Finally, he got in his car and backed out of the stall. But before the woman in the Mercedes could drive into the parking space, a young man in a shiny new Corvette zipped past and around her, and he pulled into the empty space and got out and started walking away. Hey, shouted the woman in the Mercedes, I've been waiting for that parking space. The college-ager responded, sorry, lady, that's how it is when you're young and quick. At that moment, she put her Mercedes in gear, floorboarded it, and crashed into and crushed the right rear fender corner panel of the flashy new Corvette. Now the young man is jumping up and down shouting, you can't do that. The lady in the Mercedes says, that's how it is when you're old and rich. Okay, they took that story from that movie Fried Green Tomatoes, if you've ever seen it. The old woman, they made it different though. It was some young women that parked into her space, and they said, she goes, hey, I was waiting for that space, and they say something like, well, we're younger and faster, or something like that, and then she keeps bashing their little car out of the way with hers, and then they like, hey, what are you doing? And she's like, face it, girls, I'm older and I have more insurance. So that's from, I think they got it from that story. But anyway, this one is called Gag Me with a Siphon. This guy had a big RV that he had converted to propane during the 1970s gas shortage. The conversion left a huge gas tank unused, so he modified it to use as a sewage holding tank instead. One night, camped at an RV park, he heard a ruckus outside. He got up, threw on his robe, and emerged from the camper just as a car went screeching off into the night. The guy went back inside for a flashlight and came back out to investigate. What he found was a 5-gallon gas can, a siphon hose dangling from the spout of his former fuel tank, and on the ground evidence of somebody having been very, very sick. Okay? I'm not sure what the purpose of that one was. But, damn, some of these are like short and stupid. Okay, the next one of this one is called The Stolen Specimen. Oh my god, I don't think I even want to know. A man coming out of a supermarket carrying his groceries noticed a pregnant woman get into her car, then suddenly slump over her steering wheel and begin shaking. She appeared to be crying or having some kind of convulsions. Believing that she was starting to have her baby, the man dropped his grocery bags, ran over to the car, and tapped on the window, asking if the woman wanted him to call for help. No, I'm alright, the woman said. I'm just laughing. You won't believe what just happened. The woman explained that she was on the way to an appointment with her gynecologist, who had asked her to bring in a urine sample. But the only clean container the woman could find in the house was an old wine bottle. So she had used the bottle for her specimen and brought it with her. She left the bottle on the front seat of her car while she went into the supermarket to pick up a few items. The pregnant woman had come out of the store just in time to see a man reach into her car, grab the bottle, and run away. Oh my god, he was gonna drink her fucking piss. Okay, that one was funny. Okay, this one is called The Videotape Theft. Dear Abby, recently, oh my god, I remember Abby stories. Recently, I attended the wedding of a good friend. Because I am a photojournalist by trade, she asked me if I would videotape her wedding, and I gladly agreed. The wedding was beautiful and the reception went smoothly until the bride's father stopped the band to make an announcement. He said he had lost his wallet, which contained $1,500, with which he had intended to pay the band. He said if anyone found the money, it could be returned simply by leaving it in the men's lavatory, and no questions would be asked. No money was turned in. The following day, I looked over the footage I had taken at the reception and was astonished to see that while filming a couple's conversation, in the background was the groom removing a wallet from the evening coat of the bride's father. Now, I don't know what to do. The couple is away for 2 weeks on their honeymoon. Should I tell my friend? Should I tell her father? Or should I just keep it to myself? For the bride's sake, please do not use my name or address. No name, no address. Dear No Name, call the bride's father and invite him to view the lovely video you took of his daughter's wedding. And you won't have to tell anybody anything. Okay. Oh my god. The new husband stole his wife's father's wallet. That is some shit. Okay, you guys, so that was 10 as I counted, so I'm gonna leave that there. These are pretty good. Some of these are pretty good. Well, this one is short, so I guess I could probably do one more for you guys. Alright, this one is called Urban Pancake. An alert friend recently passed along this story. The Modesto, California couple drove their new BMW to the World Series home opener at Candlestick Park. They parked, found their seats, then the stadium shook. The earthquake stopped the game. They returned to the lot to discover that their new car was gone, stolen. They made their way home to Modesto, no easy trick in the confusion following the quake. Then began the frustrating process to recovering their car. The authorities, of course, had other priorities, so the couple waited and waited for word on their missing vehicle. Finally, weeks later, they received a call. Workers clearing the debris from the collapsed portion of the Minutes Freeway had hoisted up one of the last sections of concrete to be removed. Beneath it was the BMW squashed flat as a pancake. Trapped inside was the car thief. Oh! Dude tried to steal that car and he got crushed from the earthquake. Man, that is messed up. Okay, you guys, so... Man, I'm telling you, some of these stories, like, I'm telling you, like, revenge can be a bitch sometimes. That's messed up. Oh my god. Okay, let's see some of these. Go to work, Dennis Cruz. Okay, I'm not sure what that view message. What? Oh, okay. I mean, why would you ask what I'm reading if the title says what I'm reading? Okay, so that was it for the Urban Legends Part 4. Tomorrow I will try to get into Urban Legends Part 5, and I will do the same amount of stories in that one. Hope you guys enjoyed this, so I'm going to get going for now because I have some stuff I got to do. But, as I said, I hope you enjoyed this. There will be a Part 5 coming soon. So, if you guys like this video, give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. Anytime you want to be notified of a new video, just hit that post notification bell down below in the corner. And until next time, you guys, love y'all. God bless. Peace out. Take care. And laters. Peace.